Okay, we are recording. All right, guys, I am so excited. It is our first Tuesday, our first Getting Started Right call. And really, this is a good refresher for any coach that has been with us for a little bit. But also, if you are a brand new coach, this is really where you want to start. It is all the basics. So get your notebook out, get ready. It is going to be recorded, so you can always hit replay. You can ask questions in the chat bar if you're on live. If not, if you're watching the recording, you can absolutely put underneath in the post any questions that you have, tag your coach, or ask your coach directly. All right, I am going to share my screen and we are going to get started. Okay, so you're getting started right. Number one is going to be your mindset. That we're going to talk about. Then we're going to talk about your vital behaviors, which is you have to do these things to be a successful coach. Your first month's goals, and then we'll end with Q&A if we have any, or we can even, do that later on in the group. Okay, so let's talk mindset. Let me move this so I can see myself. All right, so truly your mindset coming in as a new coach, it's really not, can you do this? Because you can. Anybody can do this. We're going to give you the tools to be successful. It's really, are you willing to do what it takes? So when your boss tells you you have to do X, Y, or Z, you do it, right? Because he's your boss or she's your boss, and they tell you that that's part of your job. When you're a coach, you're your boss. So it's a whole different aspect of, well, I don't have to do that today. I can go watch Netflix or I can go do my vital behaviors. So it's really what you're willing to do. The next part is your why, your vision, and you are going to hear that so much as a new coach of your why, your vision, and all of that stuff. And what does it mean? And I think that's really what a new coach can struggle with, because you might not have had the big paychecks, you might not have had the transformations, but having that vision of where you want to go is what's really going to help. So we're going to talk about faith, enthusiasm, action. It all depends on your brand, and you're going to hear that word too, your brand. So if your brand is your faith, if that's something that is with you, you talk about your faith, enthusiasm, and you take action. Fear, of course, this can be really, really scary becoming a coach. You might have some thoughts about what coaches need to be, and you might be scared about that. I know for me, I thought coaches had to eat perfect. You had to work out every single day. You had to have a six-pack, and basically just be perfection. My coach, when I first came in, she's no longer with the business, but she was just that. She was a rock, like literally, like you could bounce quarters off of her. And so that was my fear, is that I needed to be that way, and I needed to be perfect, and I needed to have all the answers. And it's absolutely not the truth. You do not need to have all the answers. You just need to be authentic in what you're doing. All right, be resourceful and lead yourself. This is a big one too. So you have your coach, you have your mentor, and we are always going to be there for you, but you also have to be resourceful. So we're going to give you the places where you can find information. Your back office, national wake up calls, the Beachbody Champions page. There are so many different areas to get this. And on your welcome email, most likely you got a PDF that states all this stuff. If you haven't, let your coach know, we'll get it sent out to you. But it'll state all those different areas to find information. Okay, track your biz. Oh my gosh, guys, this is given by the business, and I can't tell you how many people don't use this. And the people that do, it's proven. It is literally proven that when you use this, your business is going to see progress. So in our Joy Squad group, you're going to see in the file section, your Success Club tracker. You can also go in your back office and you can see this, but you want to do these things. Check all the boxes off. It holds you accountable to all the things it holds you accountable to. Holds you accountable to yourself and your own journey, as well as getting people to come with you on this journey. What is Success Club? Again, guys, you can go into your back office and look through everything in more detail. I'm going over everything really brief and real overview on this. But Success Club is you get points for different things. And there's a minimum goal of Success Club 5, and then there's an ideal goal of Success Club 10. So Success Club 5, which is kind of a funny thing because most of the things that we have are 2 points. So usually you're getting Success Club 6, okay? But so a challenge pack, most likely you came into this business with a challenge pack. That is ideally how you want to set your customers up with too. So every challenge pack, either with your performance line or Shakeology, is going to be 2 points. Shakeology home direct. So when you see HD, that's home direct. So that's like your auto ship. So a Shakeology HD is 2 points too. All right, but normally, guys, Shakeology is 130, and a challenge pack ranges from 130 to 180 typically. So for them to get a year of bod added on to that, I mean, it just makes, I mean, it's the no-brainer with that. So you want to make sure you set them up with a challenge pack, and ideally you set them up with how you start, because that's what you know. All right, guys, this one is the coolest thing about being a coach. So you be a product of the product. So this is, you show up every single day for you. You get results. So you know those days when you maybe don't want to do your workout, or you maybe want to go binge on some food. That's me, because I'm a binger. Like, think about it. This is now your job to get results. So show up every day, get results, share what you're using. Don't be shy about it. Like, in your stories, this is truly where, because social media has really evolved. Like, when I first started coaching, it was very much like, look at me and my shake, on my profile pic even. But we don't do that. It is, and we're going to teach you all of that stuff with IG. But it's in your stories. Like, I just shared on my stories, my post workout, my recover that I just used. I showed my energize every single day, like all of these things. And I don't always blast it with what it is. I'm just showing it. So it's on repeat daily. You showing one workout pic and one, IG story about your energize, whatever you call it. Mine's my happy juice. Isn't going to create that curiosity. So right here, create curiosity, not resistance. So if you're creating that curiosity, like you're saying about how this energize gets you through this workout by, posting a pre-pic, maybe not with a bunch of energy. And then like Jay will show herself drinking and then dancing like a fool and acting so awesome that you just can't help it. Like, I want to do whatever the heck she's doing, that creates that curiosity. It creates conversation to later have. So every single day you need to show up as a coach in your own journey. But this is also with mindset. So this is showing up with your personal development, because that's also part of this. Be a product of the product. What we do as coaches is we really talk about the mindset. We talked about that earlier on, but mindset and our mental health is a huge part of being a coach. So that's something that needs to be shared daily as well. Inviting. I think this is where everybody's like, I don't know if I want to do that. So if you're doing all of those things that we mentioned before, you're showing up every day, you're focusing on your mindset, inviting comes from that. So we don't ever cold invite. We don't just blast out on your Facebook friends list like, hey, come join me. We aren't like that. What we're doing is we're inviting to what we're already doing and people are watching. So for example, like, let's say like you're throwing this amazing party that you're going to have all this awesome stuff for everybody. And so you create this event and then you don't invite anybody to it. And you sit there and you're like, well, gosh, why didn't anybody come? Like, this is so amazing. This is like, I've been in this a week and I already feel good. And like, why is nobody coming? Well, guys, they don't know that they can come. You can show your sweaty selfies. You can post all day long in your stories, but if they don't know that they can come with you, chances are they're not going to do anything. They're not going to come with you. You know what I mean? So you have to invite to the party. So we are going to share in the group how to invite. There are files in there about different invites of how we word it. But usually it's if somebody's watching your stuff, if somebody likes your post, you shoot them a message and be like, girl, like I saw that you were watching my stories about this fitness thing that I just started doing. Do you want to join me in this? You know, I'm looking for a couple people to lock arms with and hold me accountable and help each other accountable. Like, it's just real short and quick, but it doesn't need to be icky. It doesn't need to be salesy. It just needs to be authentic, because if you're showing up already and what you're doing, it's not icky. They're seeing it. They're watching you for a reason. Okay. So what do you invite to? There's challenge groups and coaching. So there's two different things that we can be inviting to. You can get with your coach on when the next group starts. You can start your own group. You can host your own sneak peeks, or you can tag on with your coach and ask your coach when they're hosting their next, and you can invite to that. But always have something to invite to, because otherwise, I mean, you're just kind of like throwing it out there like, oh, I might run a group. Like, no, like know exactly when your group starts, know what's happening so you can invite to it. Or if it's something like an informational, like a sneak peek, you're inviting to that. So always have something that you're inviting to. And again, get with your coach when you are ready to start, and to see when the next group is. Inviting without public inviting. Okay, so this means in your stories and in your posts, public inviting. So if you came out and, like, again, social media has changed so much, where before I could just say like a random sweaty selfie post and like, come join me today. That doesn't really work anymore. People are not connected to that. They're connected to you as a person and your story and your why and your vision and why you started and what's happening with you. It has nothing to do with the workouts you're doing, the shake you're drinking. It is your connection to that. So here it says, we don't buy a thing, we buy the story of what the thing will do for us. So if you're doing the things and you're getting results, well, then they're curious about what that thing is, and that's when you're inviting. So the story of hope, love, memories, transformation. Tell the story of what this will do for them and what it's doing for you. Be specific. So this is when being a product of the product really is important, because if you're not being a product of the product, if you're not doing the workouts, if you're not drinking the shakes, if you're not doing the Energize, like whatever it is that is your thing, because we do have nutrition only programs. You could be doing 2B, you could be doing Ultimate Portion Fix, whatever it is that you're doing, it's fine, but make sure you're doing it so you can invite people to it. Now, this is something that you're going to see called a CTA, a call to action post. So this is your public inviting, big, bold post. Yes, at the end, you can do that big, bold call to action, but not like I was saying before, like just come join me now, like with banners flying. But you want to tell the story first. So bring them in. If you're brand new to this, bring them into why you started. Create that vision of what you have for them, and they can see themselves in you, because ultimately that's what you want. You want to create curiosity with people that have similar stories as you, similar struggles as you. So create that vision. If you're brand new, create that vision. Why did you start? Did you see your coach doing something that you wanted to do? Well, then you can start talking about that and say, you know, if anybody else is like felt that way, come join me. I want to do this with you. You know, my next group starts blah, blah, blah. So that is a call to action. You're asking them to take action on your post. My advice is to do one a week of a call to action post. So, but that doesn't mean it's right. That's just my personal opinion, is it's once a week should be a call to action post. However, in your stories, I think it should be more daily or every other day that you are asking people, come join me. Like, you can join me in this. Did you know you could join me in this? Because a lot of times people don't know. They just see you doing the thing. They see you drinking your shake. They see you drinking your Energize. They see you working out. They don't understand that they can be held accountable with you, have fun in the groups with you. So you got to make sure that you keep that light on, and they know that the light is on, the door's open, and they can come in with you. So those call to actions, I try to do every single day. And then all of those people that are watching those stories, I'm able to then invite. But the call to action on your post is the same way. Anybody that likes that post, they're getting an invite, because they're watching you, they're seeing it, they're liking you. Okay, so that is your public inviting, where you're boldly saying like what's happening through your story. Okay, all right, next. All right, create a struggle web and a pleasure web. This for me, it's a lot of people talk about it as pain points, and I hate that word pain points because I don't, I want to think of the challenge that somebody has, not a pain that somebody has. I don't know. For me, I just don't like that word. And it's used a lot. So for me, the struggles of what we go through, the struggles of what we've been through in the past, maybe you hate working out. Maybe depending on, maybe sugar addictions, whatever things that you've had with nutrition, whatever things you've had with fitness struggles, and maybe you haven't, that can also be part of this. Struggles you've had with finances, because we can talk about the coaching aspect too. There's two different things that we can talk about struggles. I know for me, one of my struggles with coaching, and it's something that is part of my story, is sitting in a parking lot looking through my bank statements before I go into the grocery store to see if I have money to pay. That was a feeling that I never wanted to have again. Like, I didn't want to limit the amount of groceries I could get at the store because I wasn't making enough money. I had lived paycheck to paycheck for a really long time, and I was over it. I was sick of it. I remember sitting there in the parking lot and just crying. And still to this day, when I go and I check out at the grocery store, not anywhere else, because it was really the grocery store, because I didn't shop anywhere else, to be honest with you. When I go to the grocery store and I check out, a little piece in my gut kind of goes off and I get nervous. Is it going to say approved? And I don't know if you've ever had that feeling before, but it is like the worst feeling. At least it was for me. Like, I just hated knowing that I might not be able to get all the food that my family needs or those extra treats that my kids like, because I didn't make enough money. So that was one of my struggles. The finance was one of my struggles. So you create that web of the struggles that you've had, but then you also create a pleasure web then of what Beachbody has brought to you in the aspect of your health, your nutrition, and of finances. But listen, this isn't like, oh, look, I'm making 6 figures, or, oh, look, like, I just made 3 grand this week. Like, people will not relate to that. They're not going to relate to you dropping, 100 pounds, because that's, unforeseeable. What they're going to relate to is the journey. They're going to relate to those little wins. They're going to relate to, like, Kirsty buying her wedding boots that she wouldn't have been able to afford if it wasn't for coaching. They're going to relate to buying your child's first birthday invitations that you wanted, like Tiffany. They're going to relate to those little steps along the way, because those in your mind seem more attainable than making 6 figures in this business, because people won't relate to that. They won't even, it will be kind of out of sight, out of mind. Like, they won't even connect to that, where they can connect to paying for groceries. And that was for me. Like, I wanted to pay for my freaking groceries. They can connect to that. So here's just something that you can start doing, is you can start writing down your struggles, and you can start writing down the things that Beachbody has brought you. Little, I'm talking little. I don't care if you made your first check that was $60. That is something. So don't take away from those little wins. Those little wins are actually way, way more than the big ones. Okay, here is a schedule that's on here, and just something, and now this does not mean, these aren't call to actions. This is a challenge group coaching. So this just means, like, maybe you have in your mind, you're talking about something about a challenge group. So that could be something that happened in your group about fitness, nutrition, whatever. It just could have a story behind this, a story behind coaching, or something that happened, etc. These are just ideas. For me, like, I talk about things that are real life, that are happening in the moment kind of things. Like, so if a challenge group thing wasn't that day, I wouldn't stress about it. I don't have a specific schedule because that's what works for me. So many coaches like a schedule. They like a drill. Like, I know I want to know exactly what to post this day, that day, like talk about a recipe, talk about this, talk about that. That's just not how I operate, which is fine. That's the crazy amazing thing about this business. You operate how you want to operate. If you want to schedule, we can give you schedules on exactly what to post each day, not the words, but just like the topics. Because guys, you need to have your own voice. Nobody's going to connect with you if you don't have your own voice. But this is just an idea schedule of what to be posting about. However, here is where I will say a concentration. So remember how I said to know when your next challenge group starts, to know when your next sneak peek or what you're inviting to, that is where I will focus different things. Like if I have a challenge group starting in 2 weeks, for the next 2 weeks up to it, I am going to make sure I am blasting out stuff and talking about that. Yes, I'm still going to throw in coaching stuff because that is part of all this, but I'm going to be focusing more so on my challenge groups. Now, the opposite, if we have a sneak peek coming up, I'm going to start talking about coaching up until that sneak peek. So whatever it is that you're wanting to talk about, like coaching or challenge groups, make sure it's a little bit more heavy in that aspect, but that'll come. Okay, document your workout. We basically went through this. Let people know there's something to join, that the light is on. So we talked about that already. What to share. And this is, the physical benefits of coaching might sound kind of funny, but it's so true. Like if I wasn't a coach, we're just going to talk about kind of like the last 2 months for me. It's not that I wasn't being a product for the product. I had a major health thing that happened to me in the last 2 months. And if it wasn't for coaching, I would be laying in bed right now, stuck in a depression and not getting up and working out like I am. I stopped working out and I stopped eating on the nutrition plan because I was on an insane amount of steroids. My body was going through something insane, and it was something that normally would have triggered me to fall off the, supposed bandwagon. But I am a coach. And the second I got off of those steroids and stopped feeling super dead to the world because of all the medicine that I had to take to let myself sleep at night, I started back on again because I knew that there were people in my organization that needed to see me show up. I didn't start right back away because of myself. And I'll just be totally honest with that. It was absolutely because I saw the people around me that needed to see me show up. So the physical benefits of coaching is crazy. It helps you stay accountable for what you're doing when you know somebody else is watching you. Somebody else needs to see you show up through the struggle. So physical benefits beyond, it's crazy. Emotional benefits, if you're new to coaching, this might be something that you haven't experienced yet, but the emotional benefits of coaching are kind of through the roof. The community of friends that you'll make, the personal development that you'll learn to love, it's incredible. The emotional benefits of following the nutrition plan and the fitness programs, it helps your mind so much. So all of this together is just crazy. So when you're talking about coaching, it's not just the last one like you might think, like the financial thing of coaching. That's not at all. I mean, there are so many benefits to coaching. And on top of this, there's the other perks, which right now and what we're going through, traveling isn't really a thing, but there are lots of trips that are often involved with coaching as well that, are definite perks. But these are the 3 right now that are hitting us. Okay, private inviting. So that's when you are sending that message behind the scenes in your DMs, in your messenger. So know that it's a gift and you have an obligation to share. Messaging somebody an invite is not something bad. It's not something that you should be scared of. It is a gift for you to share this with them. And if you don't believe that it's a gift, then I think we need to make you believe that first and have you be more of a product of the product before you start inviting. Because when you start being a product of the product and you see how this works and you feel the difference, you will know that when you invite somebody, you are sharing a gift for them. It doesn't mean that they're going to say yes, but you are sharing an amazing, incredible gift that can change their freaking life. If I wasn't given this gift, if I wasn't invited to this gift, I don't want to think about where I would be. It was a gift. Did I think it was when she first messaged me? Nope. It took 2 weeks, which actually is a kind of short period. Sometimes it takes people months after being invited, but it took me 2 weeks to say yes and to have her continue to basically talk through my misconceptions of what it was going to be and to talk through my fears of what it was going to be. But it was a gift at the end. 4 years later, this was an absolute gift, and I don't know what I would have done without that invitation. And there are so many people that, yes, might not have a crazy story like I had coming in, but it's still a gift. It's still a gift, whether you are helping them have more energy with their kids, whether you helping them show up better in their relationships, whether you are helping them be healthy to then be a more productive employee, like whatever it is, this is a gift. Being healthy is a gift. And now more than anything with the coronavirus, we all know our health is something that is just so fragile. And so helping somebody with that, it's everything. Start with people closest to you. That's your hot and warm market. So basically those are the people that you talk to all the time, your best friend, your family, your coworkers, like that. Those are the people around you. And for me, it started with my work. It was people that were noticing what I was doing at work. And so that was where it first started coming from, because they could physically see me at work and they noticed the changes happening. So it was real easy to have those conversations, which in the beginning, I didn't come on a coach. I told my coach I never wanted to, don't talk to me about it. But I signed up with the discount option because I needed that discount to be able to pay, because again, if you remember, I was paycheck to paycheck. And so doing this was just really crazy for me. But I had no interest in coaching because I didn't understand it. I thought it was some crazy scam and whatever. But when people around me started noticing things, I naturally was just talking to them about what I was doing. And that's exactly what I still want you to do 4 years later of after with coaching. I just want you naturally to share what you're doing. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Message everyone who engages with your public posts. So any post that you make, you want to engage with them. And that doesn't have to be the post that you're talking about your challenge groups, the post that you're talking about your coaching. If you're talking about a post about your dog and somebody likes it, you can message them and be like, I can't believe you saw that crazy picture of my dog yesterday. Do you guys have dogs too? Obviously if it's a couple, you can create that conversation with anybody. Now the inviting comes off of the post that, yes, you are talking about your fitness or your nutrition or coaching, something along those lines. Yes, you can then invite them to, but you can create conversations off of any post. Okay. So invite everybody that watches your stories. This is really where my invites come the most from, is my stories. I do from my posts, but usually it's from my stories, that because I'm always showing up on there with my fitness, with my nutrition, with coaching. So it's really easy for me just to shoot people invites off of that. So we can go into later how exactly we do that later in our social media training. But anybody that watches you guys, that's most likely why you're here, because if it wasn't a warm market connection, you were probably watching one of our stories and we probably reached out to you and said, hey, I see you watching all my stuff. Are you interested in what I'm doing? Anything. It doesn't need to be formal. Super, super quick to the point. We don't need to word vomit, which is what I used to always do, but just super, it's you're talking to your best friend. That's how you have to treat it. Okay. All right. Be consistent every day. Invite how you want to be invited. So we're all different. And just like all of our posts are different, I'm very wordy. So a lot of my posts are wordy, but not everybody is. And that's okay. You are going to attract your tribe. So invite how you want to be invited. If you see sample invites in our group and it doesn't speak how you speak, please, please, please don't share exactly what we say. I share invites with you guys on how I talk, and other samples of how I've seen other coaches talk. But if it is not how you talk, like, girl, I am so freaking pumped. If you don't talk like that, don't talk like that in an invitation, because people are going to see right through it. Talk your talk. Talk to your best friend. Close your eyes. Say it out loud. If you didn't say it to your best friend, then don't write it. It's icky. Okay. So talk as a friend. Understand it's a numbers game. It truly is, guys. So when I first started seriously really thinking about coaching, not thinking about it, but actively doing it, and I would invite like 2 or 3 people, and one person would like say, oh, okay, what are you doing? And so I would have that conversation. I would be like so excited, and I would like spend all my time like messaging them and, you know, word bombing it all over the place and all these different scripts. And like, guys, when I go back and look at those threads, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? But it's okay. You can learn through my mistakes and go from there. But it is a numbers game. If somebody said yes, that's awesome that they wanted information. Find out their goals, have them do most of the talking, and then we can come up with the solution to best help them. But let them do the talking and go invite somebody else. So it is a numbers game. Like typically I have to message, you know, X amount of people to get one person to say yes, which is typically like 15-ish invites that I'll have that yes. So it's a numbers game. It is not oh, somebody wants information, I'm going to focus all of my attention on them. Don't. Like, yes, obviously focus on them, get their goals, have them talking, create that aspect, but go invite other people too. So it is a numbers game. You do have to talk to more people. And even the people that might say no right now, that's okay too, because you're going to invite them later on in the seriously, the fortune is in the follow-up. I think I'm skipping ahead here. But the fortune, yeah, I did. The fortune is in the follow-up. So just understand it is seriously a numbers game. All right, don't prejudge. This is a big one. So I would go to people's accounts, and as you know, if they're liking my stuff or watching my stories, I would go to their page, and I hands down always suggest that first. Please go to their page. Make sure that they're not going through some crisis in their life and something, you know, I've messaged people where they've had, you know, somebody just pass away, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like how did I just do that? So do homework first. And it's just a real quick go to their page before you invite them. And then also you can include that in your invite. But so here's what I do. Like I go to somebody's page and I'll look at their profile pic and I'll be like, she doesn't need our challenge groups. And I say she because that's my market is girls. She doesn't need this. She looks in shape and she looks like she loves her job. So then you skip to the next person. Social media is a place where people show their highlight reel. They're not going to show you how they don't like their job. They're not going to show you how they're unhappy waking up at 5 a.m., leaving their family for work. They're not going to show you that. So don't prejudge. Invite anybody that is liking your stuff, viewing your stories, etc. Do not prejudge, please. And I don't care if they got like, you know, if it shows that they're working out already, like it doesn't matter. They're watching your stuff, invite them. Go for no. There is this challenge that they do every once in a while in the bigger groups. It's like a go for no, go for 100 no's. And it's just basically to get you out of the fear of somebody saying no. Who cares if somebody says no? I said no at first, and most of the people in here probably said no at first too. So please go for no. Don't worry about it. Just be like, yes, I'm going to invite everybody. Like, just go for it. Okay. All right. Fortunes and follow up. We already talked about that. Personal development. Guys, this is a monster. If you're not doing personal development, I can't even begin to say like how many things just won't flourish. I guess that's the best way to say it. So let's start with the National Wake Up Call. Might not sound like personal development, but it truly is. Every single Monday, on the TBB 411 page on Facebook, you'll see on that page, it'll be aired live, and that is at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. That is every single Monday. Really, I mean, it doesn't matter a holiday. It's always there every single week. And what happens during that call is it'll do a rundown of rank advancements. It'll do a rundown of what's new for the week. So you'll find out like things that are on sale. It's really an amazing call to be on. If you are in this for business and to start making an income, you need to take this as your first step of your business. You need to be plugged into that call. Now, listen, if you're working, that's okay. Don't go get in trouble at work and listen at 11 a.m. on Monday. Wait till you're out of work, go back to the page and replay it. It's okay. But I am suggesting that at least on Monday or Tuesday, you listen to that replay. So for the rest of the week, you're aware of what's going on. Now, the personal development more comes in with the next part. The next part is a coach comes on and they'll share their story. They'll share their struggles, because that's kind of how you learn to talk. You talk in stories. They'll share their struggles. They'll share, it's kind of like that web we made, the struggles, and then the pleasure points of how Beachbody helped their struggle. And through that, they'll then also share tips on how, it ranges from XYZ of all the different things that they do, that they talk about. So every single week, you can absolutely gain something for your business, your personal, your health, your fitness, whatever it is they're talking about. That is absolutely the personal development that you need to do for the week. Like a given, no, whatever. Like if you're in this for your business, you need to be listening to the National Wake Up Call. I will always share it live in the group, just as a reminder, but put it in your calendar and set it for 11 a.m. I set mine for 10:30 a.m. just so I can make sure that I'm in the right place to get my headphones in, or whatever it is, wherever I am that I need to do it. Next up, I personally don't enjoy reading. Just gonna be honest, it puts me to sleep. So I do all of my other personal development through audio. So I'll listen to audiobooks. I go through Audible. That's how I do it, but you can, depending on what, device you have, you can get different Audible books through different things. But this is how I do it. There's also podcasts. For me, I have podcasts not on my regular. I'll put that in from time to time. But for me, I like to be in an actual Audible book. So I know, like, okay, I'm on chapter 7. I got to keep going to be done with it. Where a podcast is just like 30 minutes and you're done. So for me, it just doesn't, I don't know, but everybody's different. So I don't care how you get it in. I just want you to get it in. But here are some favorites of mine. The compound effect right here is one that I just feel like you need to start with. I think everybody, all new coaches need to read the compound effect. That was my first that I started with as well. And it was an awesome, awesome book. Next up of my favorites are You Are a Badass. I have a special place in my heart for that book. So it's just a favorite of mine. I actually think I have You can do it. I have like You're a Badass stuff all over because I just love that freaking book. And then I think from there, it's really what you're working towards. So get with your coach to see what the next book for you would be. The 10X Rule is a really like baller book. But if you're not in that point in your business, I don't think you should read it. So like just get with your coach in regards to that. But hands down, you should be doing this daily. I would say 20 minutes minimum daily. Pop in your earbuds, do it on the way to work. Do it while you're in the shower. So I have a speaker now that's in my bathroom that I put out while I'm first things in the, when I'm brushing my teeth, while I'm getting ready, while I'm taking a shower, like all the things when I'm in the bathroom, basically it's PD. That is my PD, as well as, when I'm driving different places. So that's how I get it in. But here's the thing, not only does personal development help you in your journey, and to be a better person, but like it does so many other things for us in the business sense too, because it's teaching us tips to be a better human, where you can then be that influencer and help others. So lots of my posts come from my personal development. So what I'm learning in there is what I'm sharing. So I'm not this great, mindset guru. I'm learning it all from these people that are writing these incredible books that I can then share in my posts. So a lot of times when coaches feel like, I don't know what to post, I'm like stuck, like I don't know what to do, I'm asking, what are you listening to? What are you reading for personal development? Because if you're not doing that, or if I'm not doing that, that's when I don't know what I'm posting. Like I don't know what to post. I get stuck in my head. And that's where like sometimes I'll reach out to my upline, my new like kind of girl that took me under her wings because my coach left, like I'll message her and I'll be like, okay, I'm stuck. Like, I don't know what to do. And like 4 years later, like you would think like I would remember, but sometimes we all need that reminder. And she's like, okay, what are you listening to personal development? And I'll tell her, she's like, you need to change it up then. Because even if you're listening to personal development every day, if you're not feeling inspired, you need to change something, right? Like nothing is going to change unless you change something. So if you're feeling stuck, something needs to change. So anyway, that's my PD announcement. Okay, your first goal this month is going to, ooh, Snikey. I don't know what just happened. Hold on. My email just randomly opened and I said Snikey on the middle of here. Hold on. Let me get, nope, it's not even letting me. Yep. Okay. That's nice. Hold on. Let me pause. Share. Hold on. We can do this. Nope. Stop share. Please wait. I'm going to pause. Resume. I think we got it. Okay. Crisis averted. Hit the present mode. Yay, we're back. Okay. Anyway, your first month goal, hit Success Club and go Emerald, which we are going to have our Go Emerald in 24-hour call on a Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. But hitting Success Club. So if we go back and be reminded of what Success Club is, that's going to be basically 3 challenge pack sales, because SC5 was that first goal mark to reach. So each challenge pack is worth 2 points. So that's 3 people that you're going to bring in your first month. And I do want to explain something. If you hit Success Club for 3 months within your first 6 months, you're considered a success starter and you get a ticket to Summit. Now, right now, we don't know really what's going on with Summit. For next year, I'm hoping the world is all back to normal without coronavirus, and we have it. But that is an annual event that is absolutely incredible. All the super trainers are there. The amount of training is just insane. You get to meet up with your team. It was supposed to be set for New Orleans this year. It was in Indy. It's been all over the place. But so it's an awesome thing. And being a success starter is a big deal. So you definitely want to try to reach that. So, but your first month, hit Success Club. So that's 3 people that you're going to bring in and go Emerald. So we're going to talk about Emerald in the next call. But going Emerald means you have, and I don't want to confuse it too much here, but you're going to have 1 coach on your left and 1 coach on your right. That does not mean a working coach. Like myself, I came in as a discount coach, so I counted as one of those coaches for my coach. So 1 discount coach on the left, 1 discount coach on the right, and you're Emerald. And you have to have an active account, which obviously if you signed up with a challenge pack, you have an active account, which we can go into all that stuff at a different training. But these are your first goals, okay? So if you're at this point where you've been through the training, you kind of understand how to do a share cart, which again, hopefully you got the first initial email with all of this info. If you haven't, please reach out. I will send it to you super easy in a file. And it shares how to set up your EFT, which is your electronic funds transfer, how to do a share cart, all that kind of stuff. If you're at that point and you're like just ready to freaking go, message your coach and we will get you like the fast track on hitting Success Club, going Emerald, and just making sure that we're supporting you where you're at. And I think that's it. Q&A, that's it. So I'm going to stop share. I am going to stop the recording now. Hold on.